Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. You are now in the den. How is everybody doing today? Hope you having a good day. We are here, of course, to talk about the Clark sisters. Y'all, I've been trying to do this movie now for like a couple of months. And it seemed like it was always a problem, something happening with scheduling, all kind of unexpected things. But we here. Finally, I wanted to really talk about this movie before Black Music Month was over. And I have a guest with me. Let me know when you're ready for me to bring you up if you're ready. And really been looking forward to talking about the Clark sisters. So I am streaming from a couple of different of the platforms. If y'all want to come over to YouTube, you can. If not, make sure y'all hit the like wherever y'all at. Y'all comment, y'all let us know what's your favorite Clark sister, or what's your favorite song or any of those things. Okay, make sure you like, you commenting, you sharing, and all of that good stuff, and subscribing to the channel if you are not already subscribed. Hey Kendall, are you working hard for the money? Okay, so hard for the money. I'm glad you joined in. Okay, I know today people getting ready for power, so they probably not gonna really you know be coming through right now. But catch the replay, okay, and let me know replay game you came by, put some flames up in the sky. We still here. So yeah, you guys, the Clark sisters. I think this movie was so well done. Especially to be a Lifetime movie, not this a Lifetime, because I definitely was rocking with Lifetime and they movies and all of those things. But I think this one, the Mahalia Jackson one they did, the Mary J. Blige one they did, was actually really excellent ones if y'all have never saw those. And of course, this was done back in April 11th, 2020 on Lifetime. And I think what made it, work and be really good was also the fact that the family was involved with it. I'm always saying that when you have, family and people that actually were there when the things went down and they could give their input, is always, to me, comes off as a better story. With having them be involved. So that definitely was a plus, because it was some family members that was involved. And of course, if you for some reason have been under a rock and you're not familiar with the Clark sisters and their story, of course, this is the Clark sisters, first ladies of gospel, and it's with the guidance of their mother. We have 5 siblings that they overcome their humble beginnings and become a renowned group called the Clark Sisters. And, this is a biographical film about, said group, the Clark Sisters, okay? The first ladies of gospel. Put some respect on their name, okay? So, definitely is a great one. Well done, in my opinion. Um, so yeah, I have my guest here with me, okay? Miss Kiani, love covers all, my cousin. Okay. We've been trying to get this together for the longest time, baby. It seems like we was getting block, but we here, y'all. We here. Okay. So, hey Kiki, you there? I can't hear you. Um, I'll give you a minute. I'm not too sure. I can't hear you right now. Um, so yeah, another thing that I think makes this movie so good is that we had, speaking of Mary J. Blige, I think Mary J. Blige, she might need to go ahead and put out some more, different shows, movies, or whatever, getting her producer bag, because, like I said, even the ones that she did on Lifetime, I really liked. I hope she actually do another part to it. But she was one of the producers that was on this as well. It was her, Queen Latifah, and Missy Elliott. And I think they may need to make this a regular thing, because I really do think that they did a great job with this production. the ladies, the actresses that were in this that played them, phenomenal, stellar, all, star cast in my opinion, and actually did their own singing. And I know that ain't easy to do, especially when we talking about the Clark sisters, baby. Okay, can everybody come up here and sing a song like the Clark sisters? And they did what needed to be done. Okay, we had Kara Sherrod, which was she playing her mother? Is Karen her mother?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, she was playing her mother. Just want to make sure I had that right. She did that. Okay, like I know that had to be like so emotional too to come up and play your mom in a movie. And then you had Sheila playing Zandra Clark. Like I just think the picks was perfect. You had Angela Burkett playing Jackie. You had Raven Goodwin, who I love, playing Denise Clark, and you had Christina Bell playing Twinkie. And oh Lord, and then Adjanu. I know I'm always butchering her name, Ellis. I love her. She was playing Maddie Moss Clark. Okay, Mama Clark in the building, and baby, she did that. Like, oh man. Um, Let me see. Hey Shayna, how are you? I don't know. Kenyani, she got disconnected. I guess she'll come back in. We having a little bit of technical difficulties. Y'all know it ain't a lie for me if I don't got some technical difficulties going on, but we gonna make it work. Um, hey Shayna, you said NJB has NJB was attached to another movie we watched. Yes, yes, yes. Remember she did, what was it, Real Love, and I can't remember what the name of the other one was that she did, but those was good. We actually reviewed those for a ladies' night, and I'm looking for her to make another to come back with another one, another part to that, because I really like that one, to be honest with you. That's why I said she might have actually found her niche. She might be the next one. You never know, to end up with a movie studio and be putting out movies and stuff. I wouldn't be mad at it. Okay, I'm sure 50 probably giving her some tips while she over there working with them on Power. Listen, get it how you could get it. Okay, we will be here for it. So um yeah, I definitely enjoyed those. Okay, let me see if I could bring her back in again. Hello.
I'm moving under some conditions over here.
Listen, it can't be just easy. It's gotta be something in the mix. They don't want us to be great, but that's okay. All right, we still in the building.
The building.
Um,
Trying to get it together. All right. Lordy, lordy.
yes. Right. That would be really dope. Kendall says maybe 50 will allow her to use his studio. Yeah. I
Yeah.
would like to see some more work from her. I honestly really, really would. Um so I was giving them a little background on it, but as far as like, this Clark Sisters movie, or just how you feel about the Clark Sisters, or if you have a favorite song, or any of those things. What you thinking?
Few favorite songs. I really admire the Clock Sisters. I feel like they were definitely our first, probably in our age group, where we were able to like really embrace them, because there's our grandparents and parents played a lot of old gospel, and
Mm-hmm.
so for me it was just a whole different style. And you know um at that time where it was introduced per se, like a lot of the old gospel singers like the Consolers and the Mighty Clouds of Joy, and just to name a few, they were kind of like in the middle because they wasn't that old. They were young, and it kind of came at that time where they came with this style, especially growing up in Old Holiness, in the Pentecostal faith. And Pentecostal, anybody know about Old Holiness? Listen, and they show it very well in this movie as well. You're going to see just how that's the church that I grew up in, the Church of God in Christ. So just the strictness and all that comes with it. It was a new style. It was received by the young people. So I really appreciate and love them for being true to their creativity and what God placed in their heart, as far as music. And there's so many songs, but one of my favorites is is a lot, but my one of my favorites is it I'm trying to think. Wait a minute. Oh, I got brain fog going on over here. It's not the time to have brain fog. Blessed and highly favored. Blessed and highly favored. Because we're blessed and highly favored. All right. Okay, there we go. I can't hear you.
Wait a minute.
There you go.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's the same one that Kendall said. Blessed and highly favored. Okay, okay. So yes, y'all, yes, y'all. We are here. We are finally talking about the Clark sisters. I'm telling you, y'all, I had these slides done for months. I'm like trying to figure out when can we talk about this? When can we talk about this? So I'm excited. And I just like got so emotional rewatching it. Um, so of course, when we start out this movie, she kind of has a dream and she sees her girls pretty much kind of in the future, like a song come to her and she waking them up out of her sleep, which very much reminded me of Joe Jackson. And it's funny how he gets kind of mentioned later on in the movie, but at this point, she waking them up and she is like, listen, I got a song that's in my head. Y'all got to come sing this song. I don't know if it was 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning or what. They still sleepy. They like, we got to get up for school in a little bit. She did not care. She was like, let's get the harmonies together. All right, what's happening here?
Exactly. Exactly. I got to get this thing out of me. Like, God gave it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Get it, and we going to perfect it.
Yes. Was not playing. Okay, Mama Moss did not play. So of course, fast forward, they are now I guess I don't know if all of them was adults. I think some might have been like probably late teens,
Yeah.
early 20s or whatever, but we now older, we here in this church and we rocking. And everybody know we know how to rock. Okay. And mama is basically like she would kind of coordinate them and teach them, but then she also was going to other choirs and other churches, and also conducting, them and teaching them as well. She was like traveling around,
Yeah,
and
she
we
was.
kind of see that become an issue.
Yeah, she was the music director for
Right.
the whole Church of God in Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Mistaken if my memory, is correct, she actually was the state director, meaning like
Mm-hmm.
events.
Right.
God in Christ, she would have to go to the event to direct the choirs, the state choir. That's when all the choirs come together from every state and become one choir, and she was in charge of that. So she had a really huge title. That was big back in that time for women because a lot of the churches did not really allow women to preach or to hold those type of positions to that extent. So
Yes.
she had a big position. It was
Yes.
you know
Definitely.
and,
Um.
mhm.
So with this part that we see right here, we start to see that Denise is kind of she do her own thing. Like, yeah, I'm gonna come, I'm gonna sing with y'all in the choir, but I also want to go out here and I want to party and I want to be in the streets. She was about to leave while all the rest of them was happy that they got this Henry's chicken and they was over here making a song out of it, which I love. And I spoke about this before. I think it was when we was covering the Jackson 5, the fact that I mean, don't get me wrong, there's groups that could be put together, there's choirs that could be put together, and some of them just have a dynamic blend that come naturally, but it's something that hits different when it's siblings that sing. I say that about the Braxtons a lot too. It's just a harmony that they are able to put together that's like none other. And we definitely saw that with the Jacksons, and they had it here too. It was like they could just make up a song about anything and be joking about it, but then still just be able to harmonize and blend and come together so beautifully. So they was making this song up about the chicken.
Let me tell you something. It's no joke being on any choir. I don't know to the capacity of what it is now, but let's say the late 80s when I had to be on the choir, the amount of discipline that goes into chorus is like no other. You're gonna get those notes. So they have a key, or they have an ear for making sure that you holding the right notes. It's I think that's a very beautiful gift, because Lord knows sometimes I could go tone deaf, as they would say, and then there's times where I'm like, wait a minute, that's off, because I've gotten kind of familiar. So it really takes a special group of people, and the longer you sing with people, the more you know how to balance yourself with the notes. Are you there, Tamika?
Yeah, that's definitely true. Sorry, y'all, I was trying to get something together. But yeah, that's definitely true. As somebody that sung on the choir, like this movie had me in the fields for a couple of different reasons. Cause it's like, of course, growing up in the church as well, being in the choir as well, even though, my siblings wasn't in there, so I can't connect with them on that level, but I could connect just off the basis of, always being in the choir from like my early shoot before teens to my late teens, and traveling around singing with the choir, being in the church, going to Sunday school and all of those things. And then it's kind of like a mixture of feelings that I would get when it would come to church because of me having so much different backgrounds. Like with my dad, it was the Pentecostal. With my mom, it was Baptist. Then them throwing me in Catholic school and that being different, and having a variety of different religions that was in my family. On one hand, I'm glad that I was exposed to those different things, but on another hand, and I've spoke about this before, I used to irritate, especially the people in the Catholic Church, because I used to be like, well, why this and why that? And they would get so mad at me for asking questions. And then, of course, the dynamics that we kind of see in here, which you mentioned, with her being a woman and her having to deal with certain things, based around that. So sometimes it would definitely be kind of frustrating with some of the stuff that was going on. So it was like I felt different emotions from that aspect. And, of course, we'll talk about some of the other aspects as far as how some of the kids felt at different times. This movie was getting deep. Like right here, we see that Mama had actually got a gold record before, and they was talking and saying how they would love to get a gold record. And Clark, which was, now I don't know if he was all the girls' father because it didn't seem like he was Jackie's.
Yeah,
I'm not. Yeah,
I kind of feel. I don't think that's. I think Jackie is her oldest.
right.
Yeah, I don't think that Jackie was his. I'm not,
Hmm.
but that's a
But they was letting it be known, like, yeah, he don't play that. He don't want, her to have this out. So she had it like in a box under the bed. It was like, why this not up out on the wall to be, proud of? And, them saying how they would love to have one day.
yeah, exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. It was
Kendall said, she started out in the youth choir, probably around 5 or 6. That's what, yeah, absolutely, honey.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's why I started out at the youth and
Yeah.
the travel. That's what they do. They
Hmm. And that definitely used to be my safe space. I used to love being in the choir. I ain't even gonna lie. It was just, you could be in one mood, but once you got there and you start singing, you just a whole nother mood come over you.
Yes,
So of course, this is another one of the times where Clark is actually coming up to her and he's complaining. He feels like you always got Twinkie out on the road. She don't know how to cook. She not going to school. She says, I want my child to be able to do more than cook. And this is one of the moments where he's saying to her, who do you think you are, Joe Jackson? And, they the Jackson 5. And she told him, nah, they better than the Jackson 5. Okay, Jackson 5 ain't got nothing on my girls.
Exactly.
But he was not here for it. He was getting mad that she was staying out on the road so much. So we already start to see that this is becoming an issue.
I also,
And then he even told her that what was it? I'm paraphrasing because I should have wrote it down. I don't remember the exact word, but it was something along the lines of her having too much ambition.
yeah, if I personally thought that the lack of ambition that he had in him, he was
Mm-hmm.
from the ambition that she had in her.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that she was driven to be great at it. She was
Yeah.
slacking not one bit. You
Mm-hmm.
listen here.
Yeah, it was like if he was telling her she was getting too big and she was thinking a little too much for her, too much of herself. She needed to tone it down. But she didn't pay him no mind. She still went out on this road and went to the next, church that they had to go to. And this part was hilarious to me when they was practicing, and I think I can't remember what his daggone name was, but he was over here talking to Dondra. She was like, "What are y'all laughing about?" And at the same time, she trying to get them to get the note, and the note keeps, being off.
Mhm.
And she see that one of the girls had a stick of gum in her mouth. She took off that shoe and threw that shoe at her. Was like, "If you don't spit that damn gum," well, she ain't say damn.
We couldn't eat no gum and candy gum. That wasn't
Why
happening.
you singing on top of that? Like, come on, girl.
That was not happening. You could not go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Could not chew no gum, whether you was on a chorus or sitting down in a chair.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Yeah, you knew better than to do that. And then she brung her girls to the front and was like, show them how it's done real quick. Because y'all playing around, okay? Y'all ain't hitting these notes like y'all supposed to. So that was just too funny to me when she threw that daggone shoe. And she was like, spit that gum out. So now when she get back home, now we really have a big explosion because he's saying it's embarrassing him that she's out on the road all the time. As her being the first lady of the church, she should be there next to him when he's having different events at the church. And he has an event coming up the following week that he wants her to be at. And she's like, I can't be there. I'm so sorry, but we already have something that we booked for. And he told her she's choosing, but she's choosing wrong.
Hmm.
What did you think about this?
I personally know that that's like a, you know, I don't know if I'm wrong by saying a southern thing because
Mm-hmm.
our family being from the south, we
Mm-hmm.
had kind of dominant role where know your place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man is the provider, the protector, the leader, and in his position, by him already being a pastor or a bishop, he had that authoritative spirit where it was like, okay, as my wife, you're supposed to play your position, and from biblical perspective, that I think he was kind of like running with it because it's like, all right, you have to follow the goal. You are here as a helpmate, so as a helpmate, you're supposed to help to assist your husband. So he wasn't completely wrong. I just think that
Mm-hmm.
he needed to figure out how to make room for her gift too, which that's even to these days now. So back then I feel like they didn't really know how to do that because the wives are just as talented as the husbands. So they didn't really know how to process that and allow their wives to be great. You're just supposed to stand by your man type of.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah, it start getting a little crazy. We actually start having a little ruckus up in the bedroom, and Jackie was just coming home at that time, and she hears it, and she comes running in the house, banging on the door, asking what's going on, and she say for them to call the police. And he get pissed off and come down and slap her like, how dare you talk about calling some police in my house, and basically tells her to get out, that she can't come back. I was like, oh Lord.
This is crazy. That was Jackie, if I'm correct.
Yes, Jackie. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and she actually went on like. and did what she had to do.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Yeah,
was
they gave you that look, right? That's all they had to do is give you one look. That's it.
I wasn't with that hit putting his hands on nobody though. Like,
Yeah, that's when we, getting a little crazy, Clark. Okay, getting a little crazy. So everybody was upset
yeah,
about this, and they was telling Jackie not to go, but she was like, "Nah, if he don't want me here, then I'm going." So of course she's at work, and now the same guy that was walking her home, he sees the bruise on her face and asking her if she's okay. And Mama, of course, comes up to the job to talk to her and lets her know that now it's officially done. She's getting a divorce, and she's basically like, "It's my house. I want you home." But Jackie was still kind of giving her the side eye, and I think Jackie said, she tells Jackie, "I want you to be happy." And she's like, "I want you to be happy too.
exactly, exactly. And I thought that was
Hey, Alicia.
interesting. I thought that was in a pivotal moment when they had that mother daughter moment.
Hmm.
Where
Yeah,
I want you guys both. We want each other to be happy. It's
exactly.
beautiful, beautiful.
Hmm. So this part cracked me up too, because like I said, when she telling y'all that y'all better hit y'all notes, and they had to do this song over and over and over and over and over, and every time she was like, "It's Twinkie now, it's Jackie now, it's Dorinda now, it's Karen now," like y'all gonna get this together. So
She was not playing.
yes, and they was getting so frustrated. And she said she was gonna leave and go to the store. And by the time she get back, they better have it right. When she came back from the store, they sleeping. She like, "I know y'all not sleeping."
I was too done. I was like, they was tired. They took them a little.
Hmm. But
It's
they had it right. By the time she came back, they had it right.
to be in rehearsal. My God, my God, my God. If anybody know, they know. The
Hmm.
price, baby, you ain't leaving there until those notes is correct. Okay? You will be in rehearsal for 2, 3 hours.
Hmm.
They don't play.
Yeah, they definitely. So now she's actually taking them to the studio. This is their first studio session. Now we trying to see if we can, be on the radio, if we can get a record out here. And we also bring up like, how are the ministers at the church gonna feel about this? Okay,
Yeah.
because they don't necessarily feel like they should be going and making no albums and going in the studio.
Mhm.
Hey Brown Pretty, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. What did you think about this? Hey HEA. And she was I think it was Karen that
Mhm.
asked, like, "Do you really think we could make a record? Do you really think, And she was like, "Yeah, like I wouldn't be bringing y'all here if I know y'all can."
Yeah, remember she was the one that was the bashful one. She was the one
Mm-hmm.
who struggled with like stage presence.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
no solo. I don't want to be in the front. Don't put me in the front.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm,
So Twinkie is starting to kind of say that she's tired of being on the road too. Like, what about school? What about me being able to do other things? Because she's always the one that she's taking her all around. So we kind of starting to see, the different ways
yeah,
that it's affecting,
it was affecting them all as a whole. But I think
right.
feeling it the most because she was the dominant hand in it.
Mm-hmm.
Her, she was the lyricser. She was the one who actually you know um put things together, helped.
Exactly.
So her sound, her and her mother would connect, and that
Mm-hmm.
because they were both creative. They was like the
Mm-hmm.
side of it. So if you don't have your, it's like yin and yang. Like I'm not gonna say yin and yang. That's a bad example, but her partner. So when
Yeah.
feel that way, it was like, okay, I know all the girls, they're doing what they need to do, but they're not devoted. They're not, this is not their gift when it comes to the
Coach.
creative part of it. You know,
Mhm.
I need you, Twinkie. I don't need for you not to not want to do this right now.
Yeah.
But she wanted to live her life. She wanted to experience other things. She wanted to, like you said, go to school and date and, do the things that come normal, you know?
Mhm.
Our mother was not
Yeah.
going to have it.
Absolutely. So Jackie is the first one to get married.
Hmm.
Um, and I like this moment between them. Of course, her mother's being real sentimental and kind of like, I'm losing you. And Jackie, like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm still going to be here. I'm just getting married, and she gives her this money and is like, well, Ma, where you got this money from? And come to find out that the whole time that Jackie was giving her like $50 a week, $50 every 2 weeks, whatever it was, she had been saving it. She never spent a dime of it, and she was like, use this for you and your family. So I thought that was a really sweet moment between them. And of course, like Kiani was just mentioning, this is like one of the first times. Well, no, I think she actually told her in the studio, but now this is the time where we actually putting her up to singing the lead. As far as Karen is like, you can sing the lead, you can do this. And she puts her out there, and of course, she was a little nervous, but she had it. She did the daggone thing, and she also mentions the fact that Twinkie had been playing the piano for her since she was 9 years old. And she was like, if she wasn't my child, I wouldn't, believe it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like she was that good.
Yes.
Yeah, honey. That's history right there.
Hmm.
They posed the question, who was the best organist? They that she's always there, right on. I don't know
Oh, yes, absolutely.
in that top
It's
five.
not even a question.
Yeah, she's in that top five.
Not even a question. So they, hear their song on. Well, no, they didn't hear their song on the radio. They saw it in the paper that is actually charting, and they all excited. And the guys kind of like, okay, whatever. And they like, no, for real, look right here, we the Clark sisters. And he like, oh, what else y'all got coming up? So now that's kind of like, of course, getting them excited. Now they believing in it more because it was kind of like their mother had the vision before they did, and they was just going along with it.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Now here it is. They go here and perform. I think this is 1982. I think the first place was 76. So time is moving on, and this guy basically tried to play in Miss Maddie Moss' face, right? He gyps them and does not pay them what they supposed to. Baby, the way she was reading that man down and said they would never ever come here. Y'all gonna be begging them to come. Ain't nobody did better than the Clark sisters.
You
And he
better
was like, yeah, I don't know about all that. And yeah, right. And trying to play her. But I wish they would have had show him with egg on his face later. Because I know it's a time when that came back on him. Like, God don't like ugly. He going to get you for playing around with his children. What you thought about this? Because we know this happens in the business all the time with many, many people.
try to take advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's not right, but I think she handled herself well. You know,
Yeah.
and then it's this thing where sometimes and taking advantage, it's like, oh, she's a Christian or they're gospel, so it's just like you so
Right.
this meek and mild, this humble spirit. But the Bible tells you to be bold. You have
Mm-hmm.
self. So I think she handled it quite well. And like you said, karma. If you don't believe in reaping what you sow, you better believe in karma because so you dish out is going to come back to you. So like I agree with you. I wish they would have had shown, his experience. Whereas they got more famous and they records and stuff started selling and people
Mm-hmm.
where maybe he made a call, or someone from his establishment made a call asking for them and her putting two and two together. Like, oh, I know it's that person.
Exactly.
Again, that's
Hmm.
even when you feel like, oh, I'm gonna get them back. By the time they come back around, depending on who the person is, sometimes there's water under the bridge.
Yeah. Hmm. Definitely. So, you want to talk about this one when Miss Denise decides she gonna come when she feel like coming and do what she feel like doing, baby. She out here just living it up.
Listen, Denise was like, I need to know about other things. I cannot, and it's crazy, but I can relate because when you grow up under that tutelage and the strictness that comes with the Church of God in Christ, what they call all holiness, it's no room to breathe. I was that young girl who had a skirt down to my ankle and prayer cloth on my head, and it really it can do a doozy on some. And she was one that it was just like, listen, my God is bigger than the box that you guys put him in. You're not going to tell me that God doesn't want us to have a good time. And when you don't teach them the right way, this is what happens. They start sneaking and going. You got to give a little leadway. You got to be able to balance yourself. In all things, you have to have a balance, because if not, it comes down to what she experienced. She started sneaking out,
Hmm.
feeling herself, as they would say. She's dating. Her sisters and them don't even know, like, who's the person, what you got going on. She just know that she feel good and it's something different. And she's tired of the same old. You know, so yeah, I kind of felt in between with this. Had had experience in it myself, like, to a certain extent. Like, not everything is just like church, 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 and
Hmm.
you know, so I felt bad in a way. At the same time, it was just like, wow, I wish she was more intelligent enough to at least, like, put her sisters and them in a loop, and feel comfortable enough to bring whoever she was dating home, or to that nature. But I feel like she also was backed up in the corner. Everything was like, no, no, no,
Hmm.
no, no, we're not doing that in this house, this house, this house. So yeah.
Yeah, and I felt like it got out of hand as well, and at this point, because she really was trying to act like she was ready to knock if you buck at her mama, and it was like, girl, if you don't go somewhere and sit down, like, we ain't about to do that, okay?
It's
We
serious.
are not about to do that. And of course, when they sit down to have their breakfast, Dorinda was like, when she was saying her prayer, like, Lord, please let me not, slap the mess out of my sister, because I know she done lost her mind if she thought that was okay to be getting disrespectful with my mama like that. And she apologized to, her mother and to her sisters. But when she went to say, like, mama, you don't understand, which is so funny when, because I could look at it from both ways. Like, as a child, thinking my mother can't understand nothing that I'm talking about or I've been through, as if she haven't already been through it before herself. And then I could see it as a parent,
Yeah.
and she didn't even want to, like, let her finish it. She just was like, are you hungry? Like it ain't nothing else to talk about. Are you hungry?
You're dismissed,
Yeah.
because I'm the mama and you're the child, and you have to keep on living. I've lived,
Mm-hmm.
I've walked the path that you walk. Like, I know the things that you're dealing with, and I'm just trying to show you she did the best that she could. She was
Yeah.
a girl,
She did what she knew. Yeah.
yeah, that's difficult. If she had not been as stern and not did not have that form of discipline, you have girl childs. How many of them were walked up in there pregnant? I mean, just think about it. If you don't have a glove, that's any child though. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have a boy child there creating, at an early age. Neither do you. But girls, at the end of the day, it's the woman who winds up being the one who has to nurture that child. And I know for a fact that Church of God in Christ, you ain't having no abortion. It's not happening. So because she knew, the structures and and what it she felt like it required for her to maintain her daughters so that they could be the best version of themselves. I think that's where the heavy discipline came in at too. Just fear too, wanting better.
Mhm.
She wanted them to be better than what she was. And I think that's every parent though. I think every
Yeah.
their children to do better, be better, you know, so she just, I personally felt like she just didn't know how to balance herself when it came to so many things. But a lot of times it's just that generational, I'm not going to say curse, but continuation. Like no one knows how to find their balance. So I'm going to do what my mama did, and my mama did what my grandmama did. And, somebody has to get to a place where it's like, okay, where is the balance? The word of God said, when I was a child, I understood as a child. When I became a man, I put childish things behind me. So
Mhm.
gotta find that. And she
Yeah.
could.
Yeah, definitely true. So,
Oh,
you have who was the second one to get engaged? I think it was Dorinda. She said Craig proposes to her, and Swinkie's like, okay, but you could kind of see that she feels kind of left out, and I just feel like she just felt like she did not, like all the other sisters kind of had their thing that they was able to do
yeah.
separate, but she didn't, right? And then we kind of see her getting her feelings, and when the mama is saying like, we waiting for you, we gotta go, what are you doing? She just sulking, and she like, oh, you got an attitude now. And I felt like mama kind of just said this because she wanted her to come on and board, but she tells her that she wants her to take over on the road. She's gonna take the back seat. She's gonna handle the business aspect of it. And Twinkie is like, "Do you think I can handle it?" And she tells her, "Yeah." Now she also tells her, like, whether you sing or don't sing, whether you play the piano or you don't play the piano, whether you write the songs or you don't write the songs, I love you. You my daughter. It don't matter. But I feel like it did matter. But I do know that she loved her daughter.
No, she
Like,
loved her daughters. It's just that
yeah,
Twinkie was just her partner. Twinkie was
yeah.
her everything when it came to this part of her life. When it came, well, I feel as a whole, I feel like she invested herself into her daughters.
Mhm.
A lot of parents can overly invest themselves where they don't have a life of their own. There's no outside. She wasn't meeting with the sisters on
Right.
the day and having brunch or anything like that. Everything was her kids. She devoted her life to her children. And when that happens, as your children grow and they're trying to figure out life, like we all had to, right? And we're figuring it out. Now you're stuck because you don't have an outside circle, and it's almost like you imprisonating them. So I agree
Yeah.
that like she presented this to her, but at the same time she said all she said for both sides because she wanted her to have a choice, but she knew how passionate she was about writing and being her own boss and those type of nature, and just exploring for herself. She
Yeah.
So she did throw it out there like that with the hopes that she would embrace it and stay on board.
Yeah. So it seemed like she was doing good. She was being creative and coming along. And then we had a little matchmaking going on where what was his name? I can't even remember his name. Um that her sister brought home, but he was feeling Karen. She was like, "Oh, you usually chase the pretty girls chase you or whatever,"
Yeah,
and she didn't see why he would want to be bothered with her. He was like, "Well, like you said, the pretty girls, okay, and you pretty."
I cannot. I can't.
So they had their little love connection going on.
Hmm.
Um,
Cute.
And Swinky falls for the okey doke. Now he had asked Karen previous to this, and Karen took the card, but was like, "I'm gonna let my mother know. My mother's the one that handles the business side of it. Of course, you always got one of these in the music business too." And then when he sees Twinkie walking past, he like, "Twinkie, come here," and we didn't see what the whole conversation was, but Twinkie came home so happy driving this daggone Cadillac, baby. You couldn't tell her nothing. No, it was a Lincoln, matter of fact. You
Yeah.
couldn't tell her nothing. She like, I done got me a ride. She said, look, it's my catalog. Twinkie done sold her catalog. I said, no, Twinkie, no. She didn't even know the power that had. And they were so ticked off. And Jackie, who was the oldest, she always still worked as a nurse. She never left her nursing job.
Yeah.
So she like said, I'm so glad I was smart and I still hold on to my nursing job because messing around with y'all, I'm not gonna be, this not gonna be something I could really depend on as far as having money coming in. And then of course, Maddie Mama, she trying to look over the contract and see exactly what she did. And I felt kind of bad for her when, I mean, she didn't know. She really didn't. She just wanted something for herself. Like we have been seeing Twinkie crying out. Really, it started out small, and at this point, it's starting to get bigger and bigger as time is going on because she feels like everybody else is able to get something for themselves, and I want to get something for myself too. It was my catalog, it was my songs. If I wanted to sell them, like what's the big, deal? But she's not looking at the bigger picture of, you know, um, them being able to take over all her stuff and the effect that it also was going to have on the family as a whole and the group as a whole. And when her mother said to her, I look at you and I see a grown woman's face and a grown woman's body, but you still a child.
Um,
Oh man, I just felt so bad for her.
too. I really felt bad for her. I did because it was like some part of it was truthful. She because she wasn't getting exposure. She wasn't
Yeah.
the way that she could normally, naturally, organically. She wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I really did feel bad, but part of it, her mom wasn't. I just felt like she could have had presented it much better. But I guess she
Yeah.
was very
You
raw.
know, you in the heat of the moment and you mad, and Nisi actually was the only one I think that came over and hugged Twinkie and was like, "It's all right, it's okay." Yeah, everybody else was pissed the hell off. They like, "What did you do?"
What did you do?
For a tag on Lincoln. Yeah, he got over on her, and he knew what he was doing. He know.
Of course, absolutely, absolutely.
Mm-mm-mm. So now, child, baby, we about to perform, and they saying how we need to have these dresses pulled in a little bit more. We don't want to be having on no big moo-moos all the time. And Denise says, well, baby, I'm gonna need them to be big for like the next 7 months. And they like, what are you talking about? And we find out Denise is pregnant. And they were so pissed off. They was like, oh, you gonna mess it up for us. They not gonna want to be bothered with us. You gonna mess up mama. This may, get her where she could be put out. What did you think about all of this?
It was a mess. It was a mess, honey. I mean, what could she do? She could have been secretive, but
Mm-hmm.
this is what it is. And guess what? At that particular point, she felt like it's not about nobody. It's about me and what's taking place.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. But she already was having that type of nonchalance.
Oh yeah, she already was basically in the space that she was in, and I think they was shocked because when Maddie came in, she like, "What you doing? Why y'all not dressed? Come on!" And then they end up telling her she automatically knew like what happened now, what's wrong, and I think they was like expecting her to go off or have a big reaction about it, but she didn't. She just was like, "Okay, get dressed, go on the stage."
That's right.
And listen, this is when they was singing "Is My Living in Vain." That's my song right there. That's my song. Okay, they was singing a little hard song, and she just looking like my child, Lord, my child.
Or, mm, uh,
Mm, mm, mm.
that's a powerful song. It's a
Yes.
there's a
Mm,
lot
mm, mm.
to understand to the core. Like when you take the words and just bring it back to yourself, is my living in vain? And the fact
Mm-hmm.
he was able to write such a beautiful song, of course not. It's not
Right.
vain because you was put on this earth for a purpose. So
Yes.
when it hits you.
Mm-hmm. I remember me and Sharita sung this. That's my best friend. We sung this in a talent show. Oh Lord, yeah.
Oh,
That was back in the days. Back in the days, baby. Now I liked him. Karen gets engaged, but she's very scared to become a pastor's wife. First, he was telling her how he about to be, a pastor. Then he like, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. He talking about them having 18 kids. She was like, not 18 kids. You bugging the heck out. He talking about she gonna end up with her own little choir. And the reason why she was so scared is she was like, my father was a pastor, and it didn't work out between
Yeah,
him and my mother.
yeah. The trauma behind it, the trauma
Mm-hmm.
was traumatized from the what she was exposed to, her experience,
Mm-hmm.
what she thought a pastor was. Um, so it was understandable. Unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
wherever you worship at, that's pretty much where you were. So the exposure of other bishops and pastors maybe happened like during convocation or like an anniversary, but you wasn't familiar because
Mm-hmm.
had respect for the bishop and the pastor. So they wouldn't know like what they're capable of. So
Yeah.
her dad was. So that's where the fear lied. And look at God. They are still happily married to this day.
Yeah. He told her, I'm not your father and you're not your mother. You
Yep.
know. I
Strong,
was like, all right now. And
a real strong man.
he just, yeah, proposed to her right there on the spot. So now you got Surrender got married, Jackie got married, you got Karen getting married. We see what's going on here. We got Denise with the baby, but Twinkie still, pretty much riding with mama. So this is where Twinkie, it hits her. She has one of those moments like her mother had, where a song is coming to her, a melody is coming to her. She got an idea as a surprise, but we got to keep it secret from Mama Child because we done flipped it and reversed it and took a Stevie Wonder song.
Yeah.
And said we about to do this, and she was like, "Well, how y'all know it's a Stevie song?"
They was
It
sneaking.
was so cute.
They was sneaking and listening to you heard that Stevie song?
And Jackie talking about, well, I hear it in the streets. I ain't.
I
That's one of my favorites from them too. They rock that song out, and I think that's like one of the biggest hits as far as when they was, first starting out and getting on the radio and all of that. But Mama didn't know what it was, so they after they practice it, they singing it for her, and they like, is it okay for us to sing it? And she keep going, yeah, it's okay for you to sing it. What the heck you keep asking me for? As long as you get it right and y'all do it good, that's all that matters. Okay. And she basically was like, she don't even know what it is. And they just got a kick out of that and was laughing so hard. So we gonna go ahead and perform this song. And the next thing you know, we hearing it on the radio. We starting to get invited more places. We doing bigger shows. Baby, is going down. Okay. And we found out that we have been nominated for a Grammy, and the way she just slid it in and said it so nonchalantly, like, yeah, so y'all, with this Grammy nomination y'all got, and y'all gonna be performing at the Grammys. They like, wait a minute, what did you just say? She was like, yeah, I think this paper says something about y'all gonna be at the Grammys. So they say, Mama, we want you to perform with us. Mm-mm-mm. Kendall says Twinkie was the MJ of the group.
listen. I felt some type of way. I really did. When it went am I jumping ahead?
When they perform at the Grammys.
The Grammys, and then I don't know, did she present this or was she summons after this?
You mean to the pastors? Yeah, they want this. She got in trouble after this because she came out for a minute with the girls because she told them, I'll think about it. I don't know. And she did come out, and the pastors was not happy about this at all.
Yeah.
They basically told her, baby, you could go ahead about your business because you ain't have no business out there on that stage. We not with that. And at first she was just walking away. She was like, okay, but then she turned around and she had, Maddie had to let it out. Like, y'all really playing with me right now. Aren't we supposed to be spreading the word of God?
That's right. That's right. That's right. And that's where a lot of Christians and believers go wrong. It's
Mm-hmm.
this uniform. I don't see God that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like those who do see God and put him in a box, those are the ones that's not truly living. I do feel like God is a God of reverence, respect, and if you are moving in such a way where you're being respectful towards the gospel and what you stand for, and you're moving in that order, did you see anything wrong with it? Because I personally didn't see anything wrong with it.
No, I didn't, but that's where I say that it brought up different feelings for me because I know how, like I said, having different experiences and going to different churches and all of that different kind of stuff. And like I had got really turned off as much as I love being in the choir. And sometimes, like I said, I could be in such a bad place and have so much different things going on. And then you go in and you hear this sermon and it's able to lift you up. Just as soon as you walk in the building, you would have another feeling coming over you, or you singing these songs and you have another feeling coming over you. But then I also would have that other side where I mean it's still people because people gonna be people, but you saying you a woman of God, a man of God, and this and that, but then we are having people talking about you. Or I remember one time a bunch of my friends bought tickets to come to a show that we was having at the church, and it's like they're giving support and coming, you know,
Yeah,
to
people looking,
worship, but they being stopped because of what they have on, even though they bought these tickets
they
to come and
focus on
support.
the,
And it becomes more about that than about
yeah,
what's going on. And that's the things that had turned me off with it. So I just kind of was like, you would think that they would like the word being spread and more people being able to know about them in their church and having that representation. But instead of that, they're telling her pretty much similar to what her husband was telling her. You getting too big, you doing too much, you out here boasting. That's not what it's about. So we need you to go sit down somewhere in the corner. And then when she told him, like, Moses was chosen, Jacob was chosen, like going down the line, you was chosen, I was chosen. This is what God gave me to do. How
yeah,
you making me feel bad for doing what, God chose me for? And they're like saying, no, that's not what he chose you for. You supposed to just sit here and do what we say do. That's essentially what they were saying to
yeah.
her. And
That's
then they told
what
her
they were
she
saying.
couldn't never perform with her daughters again. And she was like, that's my kids. Like, what are
Yeah,
we talking about?
and, and was a teenager and decided to go just join this group. And if she did, like that was the thing that already always disturbed my spirit. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm so thankful that as the years grew and I began to study and know the Bible for myself, as you learn to know better, you do better.
Yeah.
First of all, it's the church is within you. We are the church. Individual is
Mm-hmm.
the church. You gather in the place of worship. So that old saying that we grew up on, oh, we going to church on Sunday, we going to church on Sunday. No, it's not correct. Biblically, it's not correct. So those type of old traditions and ways that they had, it was like more fearful. They took words in the Bible and different scenarios and they kind of like tweaked it a little bit. That's what they did
Mm-hmm.
to put like the fear of God inside of you. And I don't know if you know what that's supposed to look like. Like, don't do nothing that seems fun or exciting. So the fact that her daughters, who she's teaching, and they're in rehearsal and practicing and writing and working together, decide to say, Mom, we're doing something big. We going on the Grammys. Oh, you have to be a part of this.
Right.
Include
Yeah,
her.
I think they really just wanted to celebrate their mother and show their mother love,
Exactly.
that this was your dream you had for us before we even, realized what it was and where it could go and how it could be. And there's no way we could go to something like this and not have you up there with us. That's all that it was. I don't think they was trying to do.
No, absolutely. We all know because God
Hmm.
is able to really discern that immediately. Because
Yeah.
look at her caliber, look at the person she was. She was
Hmm.
all holiness. So the fact that she
Exactly.
told them, well, let me think about it. She didn't even just,
Right.
she
Yeah,
had
I'm
to
sure
really
that was something she probably had to pray on. And then it
exact
was like, yes, this is where we
exactly,
need to be.
exactly.
Yeah.
And when God gave her the sanction in her spirit, it was like, okay, let me do this. But I was
Mhm.
very proud that she stood up for herself.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
the board of the Church of God in Christ, I was very proud because, like I said, as a young girl, these are things that I was exposed to. You know, the men having the authority, the men being the ones who set the
Mhm.
tone, and in the inside the cathedral, and the women, it was like, be seen but don't be heard. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
no, no.
And oh man, I just felt her pain. And like I said, Adja this actress baby, whoo, she did it. But even when she said to him, like, is it God or is it you? You know what I mean? Like, are we conflating things right now? I
Hello.
said, yeah.
Hello.
Hmm.
Is it God or is it you?
Yes.
You
Mm.
know? Mm, she did right.
So now when they go, for this next performance, they like, come on, mama, but she sat that one out, and you could tell they was disappointed, but it was like, okay, it is what it is. Now, this is another heartbreaking moment, and I felt a couple different ways about it because it starts out that they go on to sign this contract, and Denise is saying she got an appointment that next day because Mama babysit. But Mama's pretty much like, I raised my kids already. I did my job with my kids. Now you have to do yours. Now Niecy's in her feelings, and she like, oh, okay, that's what we saying. That's the attitude we taking. Well, guess what? I'm gonna get up in here and I'm gonna act a fool and I ain't signing nothing. Oh, are you okay? Do you need a pen? No, I don't need a pen because I don't plan on signing this contract. So now we, of course, gonna argue. We mad. We like, Denise, why you always gotta show out? Why always gotta be a problem with you? Why gotta be an issue with you? And Mama asked her why she hates her so much, and she's like, I don't hate you. I just don't have nothing for you. Like, oh Lord, it was some deep words in this little scene here, baby.
It was.
Um you gave all you had to all the other girls and you didn't have anything left when you got to me, so I don't have anything left for you.
I don't know. It was like mixed. I felt like, uh, I don't know, because we just going by what they show us in the movie, right? We don't know the dynamics of really all that took place. Um,
Mm-hmm.
as we know, some people didn't even agree, you know, to to the movie itself, right? Out of the sisters, I don't even think that that particular sister had a part in this movie, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but they was definitely able to,
Sorry, baby.
still able to move forward and do what they needed to do. But I felt some type of way because I feel like if they was able to express themselves more, I think the discipline that took place in the household and not really being able to really communicate their feelings, their wants, their needs, it was almost like do what I say, and the same tutelage she was getting, it
Mm-hmm.
was generated in her children. She,
Yeah.
she spoke. They had relationships, but to what extent?
Mm-hmm.
Was only a limit because if they had the relationships, a lot of things they wouldn't have to sneak and do, like don't tell mama, don't tell mama,
Right.
you know, keep it to yourself type of thing. No, if
Yeah.
you talk like that, you're sneaking. You can't be
Yeah.
open and transparent. So listen, I go on both sides with this scene right here. Like,
Yeah, I could see it both ways because I'm definitely a firm believer in everybody has the right to tell their story, and we all see things in our own ways and experience them in our own ways. And just because you may not think that I should feel a way or that was my experience doesn't mean that may not have like really be how you feel like you experienced it or what you think. And so I can't say that she's wrong for feeling the way that she feels. And sometimes when it is a household that has 4 and 5 kids or whatever, it is a thing of by the time you get to that last kid, it may not either you may be more lenient, you may be more tighter. Like everybody is kind of treated in a different way and has a different experience. Me and my siblings don't experience my parents in the same way. You understand? So she could very well have felt like listen, you didn't have nothing for me, so I ain't got nothing for you. Like that really could have just been the way she felt, and I could understand that feeling. But then I could also understand her siblings being like, "Oh, you always got to be the extra one, and you always got to, go over the top, and you got to cause problems. And there's
Yeah,
always you that's doing this or that." And all of this started from her saying that she not gonna babysit for you. But I just feel like it wasn't really about her babysitting for her, even though she got annoyed with that. It
yeah,
was the buildup that we've been kind of seeing happen throughout the
yeah.
years, and it's just now it just came out and cracked in this moment, and where I'm like, I'm not going to sign the contract, but it's much bigger than that.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
then the icing on the cake for me, baby. And like I said, I know when we in the midst of the arguments, we can hit below the belt. We can say some things, and sometimes sorry don't cut it, and you can't take it back. When Zarenda told her, you my sister, but you hard to love, and then she said to Zarenda, you know what? Y'all have never been hard to love for me. Y'all my sisters, and I still love y'all. I said, whoa, baby, that hit, baby.
Yeah, it
That
definitely
hit, like,
it
oh,
did because it was like they didn't understand the logic of the things that she did. That's how I looked at it. Like, why would you do that? Because everybody else was marching to Mama Beat, but you the only one that's not marching into Mama Beat. You on your own rhythm. And what
mhm,
was wrong with that? It was just the fact that they couldn't do it because they already became comfortable with moving to their mother's rhythm. And if that's their choice, then that's what they chose. And I kind
mhm,
of felt like that's where it boiled down to. It was a matter of her wanting to do things her way.
yeah. Oh, that was deep, y'all. That was deep. I'll tell you, this
Yeah,
movie had me boo-hoo, and now we
yeah,
going deep.
absolutely.
Now
Yeah.
we going deeper because Twinkie meets Joe.
Oh God,
Oh,
Jesus,
AKA, I
swingler.
know a rat when I see one. Okay,
Yeah,
he's from the
swingler,
gutter. Yes,
scam artist, scam artist, a swingler. But I'm like,
Lord, talking about, yeah, I know you, Twinkie, and all that. How you got your name? Oh man, Twinkie, Twinkie, Twinkie. I just fell
for her,
for
I
her.
felt like had she been exposed a little bit more, or was able to go out and do things, and that goes for all of them.
Yeah.
People don't know to the extent how it was back then. Like I would hear stories. I wasn't so much of that John that era of that time. I came like, I say late 80s where things people started kind of like giving their kids more freedom and being a little bit more balanced with things. But to hear stories, especially, and I have to keep reiterating the Church of God in Christ, because that's what they consider as old holiness. That's what Church of God in Christ
Hmm.
for, and that's the Pentecostal faith. So it was like it was taboo to go to a movie, to go. I mean,
Hmm.
something as simple as roller skating.
Yeah.
Anything that they felt like was of the world, they was not capable. They was not able
Right.
to do. So how are you going to navigate in the world that God has placed you in if you're not knowledgeable? You
Hmm.
see? So I really felt bad because she was very naive and
Yeah,
immature.
she was. And at the same time that I know she was naive, I also understood her feeling the way she felt because,
Yeah,
like, even in
of
the
course.
moment when she's telling them, she getting married, she moving, she leaving the group. They like, well, why you gotta leave the group? Which I understood them saying that too, because they like the rest of us got married, but we still didn't leave the group. We have the situation with Denise that happened. We still trying to, go on tour and do what we gotta do. But she's like, this is what I want. Like I've never did anything for myself. I've never been able to live for me.
Yeah,
I've never been able to have what I want to have. All of y'all have been able to have it. Why can't y'all just be happy for me? Can you
that's
please be happy for me? And she literally went down calling each one of their names. Can you be happy for me? Then she got to mama and was like, can you be happy for me? And the fact that Maddie got up with her cane and walked over and said, you done shot a bullet through this family and walked away. I said, Lord have mercy. Ah, that
I was
just broke
crying.
my heart.
I was crying so hard. It was ridiculous.
Yes.
It was ridiculous because of course you're gonna feel you have some type of empathy towards the sisters because it's like, okay, this is our group now, this is
Mhm.
money, this is our lifestyle. But in all fairness, Twinkie.
Yeah,
Twinkie was riding for everybody. Twinkie was the one who was really making it happen. She was
she
the one writing,
was.
the one coordinating the music. She was the one.
Mhm.
Everything was on her shoulders. And I'm not saying that they didn't do their share as far as showing,
Yes,
and but they all can sing, so she jumped in and
yes,
she had to too, you know. But it
mhm,
was like I felt her like be happy
yes,
whether I'm successful or I fail. Be happy for me. Let me go through
yeah,
this period. Let me have this. Basically, let me just have
yeah.
this time.
Yeah, she couldn't have school. She couldn't have anything else. So I get it, but at the same time, oh Lord, because baby,
Yeah, it was
it was
something.
just really a sad situation
It
when
was.
um they came here and she didn't even know they was coming to that they were supposed to go to North Carolina. She found out when she comes here to say bye that they're moving to North Carolina. And then she asked him, do he have a job? And he talking about something not yet. He gonna get one when he get down there. It's like make it make sense. And she's still telling her like Twinkie, just stay, do not go. You know, she's like, so how y'all supposed to survive, you know? And she asked him, can he step out for a minute and let her and her mother, you know, just talk by themselves? And
Hmm.
again, she just kept reiterating, like, why is it that you could let everybody else go and you could be happy for everybody else, but when it comes to me, you know, you don't want to do it or whatever. And her mother's telling her, like, oh man, Jesus. She said, two things Twinkie gonna do is make poor decisions and write a good song.
Wow, that was powerful. Well, mother know they child
Yeah,
now.
they do. They do know they child. But the part that really got me though, even though mama talking truth, I feel you, mama. I'm with you. I'm riding with
Part
you,
of it is
okay?
her fault.
When she said, I can't let you go because you need me. And Twinkie said, yeah, I do need you. Yes, mama, I need you, but I need you to be my mother. She said, you need me to be an organ player, baby. That was deep. That
It,
was so deep, y'all. I was crying like a baby. Like, she said a word.
I think we both was. It was really deep. It was very sentimental, and it really pulled my heartstrings because it was like, come on, like really, I know this may be true, and she felt bold enough to say it to her daughter. But I was thinking in that moment, like part of the reason why she does make bad decisions because you never allow her to be exposed to situations and scenarios to make decisions. Period. you know
Yeah.
every decision was pretty much made for her. Let's think
Yes.
about it. Every time she wanted to do something, that's part of life. We make decisions, we take chances, and some chances will be good and some chances won't be good. But it doesn't mean that you should not take a chance, because then you're
Mm.
not living, you're just existing. So her mom somewhat created that part of her.
Yeah.
Or I could say she added to or formed it, where it's like she was able to identify it more than Twinkie herself was able to identify.
Right. Yeah.
So it was really some serious
Yeah.
apology going on over there too.
It was. It was. But baby, let me tell you something. Joe, when he came back in that house and he pushed her mother down,
Oh,
that would have been the last
oh,
push he would have ever did in his life, baby. The way
oh,
I would have took my mother Kane and whipped on his behind, it would have been nowhere, North Carolina where. I'm sorry, Twinkie, love you, baby, but
yeah.
that was the icing
Wow.
on the cake for me. He talking about we gotta go and just pushed her down on the steps, and her mother was there crying and screaming.
I was like, what? Where do they do this at? I was like, no, this is a movie for real. Because
Yeah,
no way, there's no way on God green earth you gonna let some man push your mama. And she should have known then when he pushed her mother
yeah.
what he was
That
capable of.
if you ain't seen no sign before, that was as big as one as it could get.
You ain't never lied. That was it right there.
Mm,
It,
mm.
yeah. You didn't know.
Uh,
Huh.
Oh Lord. And then oh man, she was calling her like, I just want to hear your voice. I want to know you okay. You know, the sisters is trying to get back in the studio, but it just ain't hitting the same with
Yeah.
it being just the three of them. They trying to figure it out. Oh yeah, with Kendall. You never saw this movie? They listen.
Get on
Ah, child.
it. Get on it, Kendall.
Listen. So he bring his raggedy behind home. Oh, I was just so disgusted with him.
Me too. I was so
Asking what she did all day. He thought she had a show. She like, I did. She said, I done did the show. I'm in here with the baby. I'm trying to get that done. He want to know where the money at, where the check at. She said the check had to go on the damn bill. It was like, I got the check. I paid the bills with it. And we got a car that we got to pay stuff for. Why he said we ain't got no business having a 10-year-old car and we need to be in a better place than this. You need to be getting up money. But mind you, he broke. He ain't got no daggone money. He's depending on
exactly.
her and her check. Talking about you the most famous Clark sister. I said, I can't. I was so disgusted with him. Like she
I
deserves
was.
so much better than that.
I was. She deserved more. And that's what happens when you think less of yourself or don't know yourself or just really don't know when you should bow out or when something is not for you. So that's where the naiveness come inside.
Yeah.
And
That
I
was
was
definitely her wake up call then, especially when he said to her, I should have left you with your mother. The look on her face, like, wow.
exactly, that was messed up. That
Mm,
was messed
mm,
up.
mm.
That was messed up. And I was like, look at this user.
Yeah.
This user, a piece of so-called, he want to call himself a man. Are you kidding me?
Mm-mm.
Where is the money? What was you doing all day? That's what
Exactly. Mind you, he was just coming in that morning and think coming from being in the bar, hanging out, drinking, or whatever the heck he was doing. Like, boy, get out of here.
probably messing around with somebody else. Go sit down somewhere.
Hmm.
Because he could see her insecurity. He can see the fact
Yeah.
she wasn't sure of herself, her vulnerability,
Hmm.
taking advantage
Yeah.
of her kindness
Definitely.
and
Yeah.
seeing the need of her longing and wanting. So like let me be a false pretender and present myself to her this way, but that's not even who you are. You ain't got
Hmm.
nothing going on. You ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. You just use
Exactly.
this young lady.
Like, use a fake. Mm-mm-mm.
Horrible.
Child. So, Lord, Jackie come over to the house. Mom over here eating chips and drinking. She like, you know you ain't supposed to have that. And
Woo!
I thought it was so cute because I don't think I had that sliding here, but there's a part, like Keanu was mentioning, you dress in a certain way and all of that. And so one of the times that Jackie had came, she had on pants and she closed the door in her face, like, really, mama? She was like, I was coming straight from work and they have us wear, pants at work. And she like, well, that's your business, that's your job. I ain't got nothing to do with that. So Jackie had to end up going back and change it to a daggone skirt before she would let her in. And then she's smelling her and she like, what the heck? Why you smiling? Oh, because maybe you smoking reefer too. That was so funny to me. And she had let her in the house after that. So now fast forward to this part. She told herself she have a gift for her. And when she opened up the gift, it was a pair of pants. And she was like, oh, mama. And she just trying to get on her mother. Like, I understand you upset about Denise being gone and about Twinkie being gone, but they'll be back. They'll come back around. That's gonna work itself out. Oh, they gotta live their lives. You gotta live your life. You gotta take care of yourself. We want you to be around a longer time. We
Mhm.
need to take you need you to take your medicine. And she gives her the medicine, but then looks down and notices that her damn leg is bleeding. She like, what happened to your leg now? Of course, mom over here talking about God already said he gonna fix it. He said I'm all right. Don't even worry about it. But Jackie was like, no, especially her being a nurse. She like, we going to the hospital. What are you talking about, girl? So we get on over here to this hospital, little Kiki. Lord have mercy. Mm-mm-mm. And she still was just trying to be like, these is my daughters. They the Clark sisters. Go ahead and sing a song. Got them singing for the nurse, singing for the doctor. She still was just trying to be like, it's all right. Mm,
Yeah. She was proud of them. She was thankful that God blessed her with such talented daughters, and
Mm-hmm.
was living charismatically through her children. Through her daughters. They did something that she may have desired to do or wanted to do, and was able to groom them and grow them to be the best at what they do,
Mm-hmm.
and was proud of that, as she should. Took pride.
Yeah,
You know.
definitely. Yeah, she was asking if they had called Twinkie and Denise, and they said they tried. Um and I think she told the doctor that Dorinda was her knee baby,
Mhm.
um Jackie was her rock, and I forgot what she said Karen was, but she was giving the breakdown of what each one of
Yeah,
them.
like that was her passive. I think
Mm.
it, I think she said passive, or
Like
not
she don't
passive.
even know what she was capable of, or.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm. And
Wow.
Dorinda didn't want to leave her side, but she told her, "Go ahead, she all right." So, of
Uh,
course, Mama gone, and we have this funeral. This was just this really. I mean, it's a reality. It happens in a lot of families, unfortunately. You would think that with a loss like this, now we gonna come on together, but Um, we was all here at the funeral, and Denise shows up, and we want to know, like, did you know she was coming? Okay, and Denise very much came in there giving Whitney Houston energy. When Whitney Houston showed up to the Bobby's mother funeral, Lord, she said, "I'm in the building. This my mama. Okay, can I get an amen? Y'all, nobody would not be having y'all sit here all quiet like this. Okay, somebody better speak up." And
mhm.
they, wanted her to be taken down off the stage. What did you think about all this?
It's very sensitive when a person is grieving, because
Yeah.
that you get to evaluate yourself, and like you start to think about all the things you could have, should have done. So I think grieving is a very sensitive place, and and although there's a time and a place for everything, we've experienced some embarrassing times where we just like, oh my God, like please somebody sit her down or sit him down,
Mm-hmm.
even within our own family, because it's
Mm-hmm.
like you're really pouring out the things you should have said or had discussions about when the person was still alive. That's why you're
Mm-hmm.
not supposed to leave things undone. Tomorrow's not promised to anyone. So
Yes.
I felt bad because I know it was a place of pain that her and her mom did not get the opportunity to really reconcile. Like really, really reconcile. I know they show like a scene where they kind of like, you know, somewhat, if I'm not mistaken, but I think that's where the pain came in at. There was like this, you know, a place of hurt that no one probably could understand or relate to, because if
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't relate to her when she was going through the things she was going through as a young adult and those matters, how can they relate to what she's feeling, you know? And then in the same breath, it was like, why didn't you answer your sister's calls when they told you that your mother was in a hospital?
Mm-hmm.
Like I wish they would have showed that part. Like, why didn't you listen? Why didn't you, respond to the phone call and come see your mom? You know,
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah, we really don't know. It was just like seeing her come here, and then saying she wanted to ride in the car with them, and them saying no, you could ride in the second car, and us kind of arguing back and forth about that, and looking like they ready to have a daggone fight. And
Yeah.
Twinkie, I think it was Twinkie, said she would ride in the second car with her, whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
um she said, well, now y'all can really stay away from me, y'all can get what y'all want, especially with mama being gone, which
Mm-hmm.
that's sad. It's unfortunate, but like I said, it does happen.
Yeah, it does.
And it's taking a toll on everybody, of course, in a different way, because Twinkie has her own guilt as well. She's sitting
Mm-hmm.
here while they going over the things in the kitchen, and she essentially basically ends up having a nervous breakdown, and she's
Absolutely.
just destroyed. like, was my mama asking for me, and I left her and probably feeling like this happened because of her and all of that different type of things, which is just absolutely horrible.
It was. I mean, my heart really went out for all of them, in their own way, and and I think that's what has made them so great.
Mhm.
Having the tutelage of their mom and being able to carry that torch within their own children, being able to navigate it differently, you know,
Mhm.
being able to kind of, because I think I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but I think from the things that I've been exposed to throughout the years, seeing, little pieces and snippets of their lives, um, I really think, because I believe it's Karen who has the most children, if I'm not mistaken. Her and uh, Jackie, I think. No, her and Dorin. No, no, her and Denise, I think, have the most children. Karen and Denise, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, I know Denise. I think when she showed up to the funeral, she had like 10 boys with her, something like that. I remember her. I don't remember the exact number. It was a couple of them, and definitely was somewhere in that area. She was like, "Look
Yeah,
at all my kids." And they was up on
yeah,
the
yeah,
stage. Hmm.
yeah. What I was saying was that just seeing her children, and how she navigated with them, and sometimes you can go through certain things in life, and it can teach you how to just do things differently, not
Yeah,
so much away from.
definitely. I mean, that's how we learn.
Yeah, yeah, and I think she's done a good job as a mom and a first lady, balancing her children, because you see it within them, like, you see the jubilant, you see the jokester, and Keisha, I mean, and Kiara, her personality,
Hmm.
you see it in the brother's personality. So I really admire that. I really have not seen too many
Hmm.
other of her siblings, but yeah.
Hey,
I,
Candy, thank you for coming through. Candy Love. Yeah,
I
we almost finished, but I appreciate you popping in. So yeah, and it was so crazy because as they're trying to let Twinkie know we here for you. You had a breakdown, you in the hospital, we gonna give you the support you need.
Yeah,
We also have a moment where Dorinda's pretty much like, listen, I'm up to here too. I don't have my full. I don't know what's what. I got to get the heck
yeah,
up out of here. You got
yeah,
Jackie saying, listen, I'm going to need you to step up. I'm over here trying to help, my husband with his mama. I'm helping all the siblings. I'm doing this. I'm taking care of everything. Like,
yeah,
the rock is crumbling now, and I felt her on that. When you the one that kind of everybody lean on, and you trying to help everybody, but you can't help nobody else if you can't help yourself. So this is a moment where they all kind of need their own thing for themselves, but they also trying to be here for their sisters. And you have her stop, like, leave the hospital completely, because she's telling her like, make sure you come back tomorrow and check on. She don't even answer her. She just walked away, went over by this bridge baby, and start
yeah.
asking God for a sign.
Yeah, it was deep. It was
Mm.
deep.
Yeah.
It was deep because I was just like, what kind of song she asking him for by the brick?
Yeah, because it seemed like she was starting to get some other thoughts too, and she
Yeah,
needed to know, like, but just as she said that, she got what she needed, and she was like, thank you, thank you, thank you.
yeah, yeah,
Then we get here. I want to say this was 91, 92, something like that. And Karen is deciding that she's going to do this surgery. And her husband is saying to her, like, you don't have to do this. And she's like, no, this is something I'm choosing to do. This is something that I'm doing for myself. And don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. Baby, all I know, he went for coffee and came back. And they talking about she in a coma had a 2% chance of surviving. I was like, I know he said, well, what the heck is y'all talking about? Like, Lord have mercy. Mm, mm,
mhm,
mm. How fast things happen.
yeah,
And I know how that felt because I was told before that, My other half had 1% chance of making it, but he made it out of that one though.
God
1% chance,
knows.
and that doctor came so negative. Like you can hang it up, make your plans, and make all the plans now. Say goodbye, but God is the final say,
That's
honey.
I'm about to say, and God got the last say, baby. Oh,
But yeah, this was a moment, and he went and was holding her and praying to her, and she over here opening up her eyes like, what you doing? What's going on?
was clueless.
Yes. Mm.
Clueless.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
when
Mm,
you when when your time, when it ain't your time, it just ain't your time. And that,
yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and the life and death is in the power of the tongue. So the fact that he was
Yes.
and praying for her, the power
Yes.
it prevails.
Yes. So they come back to Twinkie now. We want to reunite. We
Hmm.
want to, try to do this performance. And she's, skeptical and pretty much like, I don't know. I don't think I could do that no more. And now Karen has wrote a song and she's always been, telling Karen, you got it in you. You
Yeah,
definitely could write and things of that nature. So she's telling her it's real good. And everybody's on board except for Denise, and she's like, well, what happened with Denise? She said, we tried. She's not ready.
yeah,
um
yeah,
so it's just dumb. They agree to do it, but then right before they're going on, Twinkie kind of has a moment again where she, thinking about her mom and has to go to the side and say a prayer. They looking for her. They scared she about to be a no show, and she's asking her mom for a sign, and she starts to kind of get visions of her mom and the things that she was saying and feeding into her about her gift, and
yeah, yeah,
that was like her sign that she needed to
yeah.
be able to come out and join her sisters.
I thought that was beautiful, beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful. I thought that was extreme.
this was so well done. It really was. It
Really,
really was.
it really.
Yeah.
Are you okay
Now gave me some
now?
tears, yeah, okay. But yeah. Um
Oh gosh, Tamika.
So Twinkie, of course, was the first member of the Clark sisters to go solo. She released her album in 1992.
Uh-huh.
Karen Clark, Sharon, released hers in 97, a live debut, right? And of course, like I was saying about the Stevie Wonder song, that was like the first major success. Um they had multiple hip hop R&B songs that have been sampled from the Clark sisters, like
Yes.
period. Okay,
Yeah.
everybody like out here sampling the Clark sisters. Karen Clark, she oversees a powerful women's ministry, performs, of course, as a solo artist, and with her sisters, Jackie, still a nurse, an author who continues to perform with her sister. She never gave up her nursing job. She said, baby, I'm gonna be out here taking care of people and singing at the same time. I said, I ain't mad at it. Dorinda Clark Cole is the elect lady of churches of God in Christ and preaches around the world.
Yeah.
Twinkie Clark, the queen of Hammond B&B organ, has composed more than 250 songs. Put some respect on her name. Like Kiani was saying, definitely in the top five. There's no discussion that can be had about an organ player without mentioning her. Period.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Zaria. I see that you like me on Facebook. I appreciate you, sweetie. You always coming through showing support. Um, and Denise Clark Bradford is a devoted mother, pastor, and doctoral um candidate. So I mean Denise out here still doing her thing too. The
Yes.
legendary Clark sisters are the most celebrated female gospel group, in music history. So it's only right that we talked about them for Black Music Month.
Right. Put some respect on the Clark sisters' name.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Yeah, yeah. That was the Clark sisters.
Good. I'm so thankful for them just doing this movie. I wish
Yeah.
more people would you know, bless their fans to the
Yeah.
capacity. It was well done, well done.
Yes.
If
Absolutely.
if the producers and the directors and whoever come across this video, something to think about. Let's not just stop here. Come
Hmm.
on, go to the next
Definitely.
family.
Yeah, I would like to see more. And like I said in the beginning, Lifetime, I feel like they did good with this one and with Mahalia Jackson. So maybe y'all onto something. Maybe y'all gotta go down to all the gospel. I don't know. But they definitely did it with that one as well. Definitely, definitely. I really and thoroughly enjoyed this. And I was looking forward to talking about it. And I appreciate everybody that was able to join in the chat. Anybody that wasn't able to join, if you catch the replay, let us know. Replay game, you came by, definitely tell us, if you have a favorite Clark Sister song when you first was introduced to the Clark Sisters, if you have a favorite Clark Sisters, whatever it may be, make sure y'all like, make sure y'all share and just comment and all of that good stuff, y'all. I got a short in my daggone wire. Y'all know I always got something going on. So but I was looking forward to this one, y'all.
Too.
So I'm glad I was able to do it.
It took us a while, but we got
Yes.
we got here. We got here. We got here. Praise God. And it was beautiful. Beautiful.
Definitely. So Kiani, you want to tell them where they can find you at? I got all her links in the description. Y'all can make sure that y'all follow her on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all of those places if you are there.
Sure, sure. So, as everyone knows, it's not my first time up here. I have an amazing organization called A Mother's Love and Beyond, where we primarily focus on those who are dealing with autism denial and self blame, helping them to transition. Please reach out to our organization to support us. We greatly appreciate that. We are in the NYC doing some great things. We have several different programs. We have Hip Hop Makes the Brain Rock, and we have Brilliant Minds with their traveling shoes, as well as Love Covers All, which is our women empowerment for our single moms as well as parents who need to be able to find their balance. So, yeah, your love and your support is definitely greatly needed. I have a TikTok on with Love Covers All. That's us, just me and my son just being silly and just doing our everyday life. But you definitely can follow me on IG, Facebook, and TikTok for our
Okay.
organization, A Mother's Love and Beyond. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. Um, so for me, guys, yeah, make sure y'all follow me on all of the social medias if you can too, and TikTok, because I'll be doing some other little videos on other shows that I don't necessarily talk about over here on YouTube. I'm trying to get a little bit more busy over there, but and also just in case to know when I'm uploading videos, because y'all know sometimes YouTube don't be wanting to send out the notifications, and of course I share my self care stuff up there and all of that other kind of things, but. In the meantime, y'all know the Shine Power, of course, is coming up. I'll be talking about that. I did a review on Clips, interview with the vampire and sisters, child. And I think this Sunday is our throwback movie, if I'm not mistaken, is Piece of the Action. So y'all will see me up here for that. Of course, y'all gonna see me with the ladies doing the Shy Live and the Power Live, and then we needed the Diva Monday for House of the Dragon. So I'm pretty much gonna be busy for these next couple days. Y'all see a whole bunch of stuff coming out. If you can join the lives, definitely, see you there. If you can't, catch the replay, of course. And I appreciate all of y'all. And yes, please do what Kendall said. Hit that like. Thank you, Kendall, for joining me. Thank you for Lemon Kush Pepper coming through. Debbie B. Um, Daria on Facebook. I don't know who else came in, Candy Love, but I think all of y'all, if y'all was watching from Facebook or anywhere else, I appreciate y'all for watching and coming through. You could be doing anything with your time. Alicia, I saw you in here, girl. Love you.
Love you, boo.
Yes. And so, yeah, we'll catch y'all, Brown Pretty. We'll catch y'all the next time around. I don't know what the next celebration movie is gonna be, but it will be something good. Hopefully, it won't take as long as it took us to get it together for this one, but it'll be something. I will keep
Yes,
y'all,
and
updated to that because I definitely do want to do these more than just Black History Month. I want to spread it around throughout the year. So you'll definitely see something else coming up. And that's all we got today, y'all. All
yes,
right.
yes, it was great.
Yes. See y'all the next time around.
See you next time, Kiwi.
All right, baby. I love you.